We have to do introductions each time, don't
Yep.
we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Jaden Leary. I'm a junior at St. Louis Park High School.
My name's Finn Barry. I'm a junior at St. Louis Park High School.
I'm Thomas Halverson, and I'm a junior at St. Louis Park.
I'm Forrest. I'm a junior at St. Louis Park.
And I'm Scott Miller. I'm a teacher here at St. Louis Park.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Miller, for joining us today. Can you give a brief introduction of yourself?
What in particular are you looking for? Just
Your role in the school, what you teach,
Okay.
who you are.
So I have been an employee of St. Louis Park schools for, I think this is my 32nd year, maybe 33rd.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, a long time. And currently I'm teaching AP US History. I have 4 sections of that and 1 section of AP Econ.
Nice.
How many years again? Sorry.
I started in 92, so I'd have to figure it out.
That's-
Was it 32 or 33?
32.
32, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess 32 or 92 to 93 is my first full year.
Yeah.
So that's when I always get tripped up if it's
Yeah.
one or the other.
Yeah.
Is it
Long
weird?
time.
Is it weird to see like all these kids come through like throughout all these years?
Yeah, I kind of hit a point where I've had a couple kids of former students of mine. Well, to give you an
That was
idea, Finn's dad, I coached in football for like my first 3 years at Park. So that is, I'm kind of feeling the age thing now.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was really good.
He was
actually.
really good?
Yeah, he was good. Athlete.
What did he play?
Center.
Oh.
And he's not just saying it to flatter
I
you,
mean,
Finn.
he went to the Gophers, so
Yeah.
Well, no,
Oh, I
he
didn't
went to
know that.
St. Olaf and played there for a year.
yeah. But then I thought he walked on at the Gophers.
Well, I don't know about that. I guess maybe I kind of lost touch.
Yeah.
I've seen your dad a couple times,
Mhm.
but I never asked him about that. I think he went to he went to Olaf for a year or 2 and played, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Then if he switched to, did he end up finishing up at Minnesota?
I think so because he like stopped playing because someone like destroyed his shoulder. I think in like high school. I forgot who it was.
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they were a teacher, and like he just couldn't. Like I think he walked on at the Gophers for his senior year, but
Okay.
didn't play.
Gotcha.
Did you go to high school here?
No, I grew up in South Bend, Indiana, so it's about an hour and 15 minutes east of Chicago.
What
So I was a John Adams Eagle. Then we named our schools after like presidents because it wasn't really like a suburb where it's St. Louis Park.
Yeah.
So not just presidents. I mean, I guess there was a few other people, prominent citizens or whatever. So
Well-
there were maybe about 11 high schools in my town.
Oh, what was it like there? Like compared to St. Louis Park?
Actually, I kind of said it today in class. I mean, I went to a school very similar to St. Louis Park. We were pretty diverse. It's an old factory town, and what happened is that it's not like a suburb where all the houses are roughly the same value. So your neighborhoods would change very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happens is you'd have like a busy street, and then this type of housing, and then on this side of the street it might be this type of housing, and so. It was about the same size as Park, and I would probably say about as diverse as St. Louis Park.
Nice.
Yeah. I always liked that. I came up here to college and kind of talking to friends, and, seemed like it was very similar or homogenous, and I always liked that experience, and so that's one of the reasons why I've stayed here at St. Louis Park and taught.
Yeah.
What was your high school experience like there? Is it?
I mean, it was 1980s, so I think I graduated in 86. I mean, it was kind of a good time. I mean, the 70s were really chaotic, and I think the 80s got to be a lot more tame. And so, I would say a typical high school experience. I still keep in touch with my high school friends, or some of them anyway, and liked it. Notre Dame is where South Bend is, so a bunch of guys went to Notre Dame, so I'd come back and hang out with them there. And breaks and everything from college.
Yeah.
Did you play? I know this about you, but we still got to ask. Did you play any sports while you were in high school?
Yeah, I played football, and then one of my friends played at Notre Dame, and actually was drafted and went to the NFL. So it was really kind of fun because in the summertime I'd go back home and work, but the football guys would stick around, and so kind of there were some big names at that time period. Notre Dame won a national championship when I was in college, so my friend was Anthony Johnson and. And I just remember some you know, I don't keep in touch with them now, but they were, you know, probably like you guys. You got kind of maybe 10 guys you hang out with a lot or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then got to know some of his friends, and so it was really fun to kind of we all grew up rooting for Notre Dame, and so it was fun to kind of see him excel there, and he was team captain and stuff, so it was fun.
Yeah.
What brought you up? You talked about what brought you to St. Louis Park. What brought you to Minnesota?
So as a kid, I always came here in the summers. My grandparents lived in Edina, but we had a cabin up on Lake of the Woods, way up on the Canadian border. And so those were some of my fondest memories.
Oh, yeah.
As a kid, we'd go stay for a month, and then my dad would come for 2 weeks for his 2-week vacation. And my cousins were up there, and it was like we were really it was rustic, and we had an outhouse, and you know, real isolated up there. There weren't a lot of cabins, so we'd just kind of run in the woods and just, you know, be on the water and fishing, and that's kind of been my passion. So when it came time to look at schools, I kind of wanted to come back up here, and you know, I still hunt and fish quite a bit, so I think it fit a lot of what I wanted to do, you know, after college and after my education.
Yeah. Nice. You've talked about like playing sports and like being a coach. How has that like helped or influenced the way that you teach, if it has?
You know, I think you're trying to motivate people. Not that you're always good at it, but you know, you're trying to figure out what people want. You know, so if you're coaching, you know, you want to nudge kids to want to be better and work harder and excel. But then some people are just there for more of the social experience, and I think kind of trying to sense, like, I don't, you know, judge kids on what grade they get. I want them to do well, but
Yeah.
I kind of, you know, I know we have kids in class that are there because their friends are there, and they're not necessarily wanting to get an A or et cetera, and they'd love to get it, but maybe they're just kind of fine with a B. So I kind of try to honor that and understand where people are coming from.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to try a donut? Because I really want to try a donut.
You go ahead.
You don't want you
I
have to
will.
eat
I
one.
will. I'll grab one at the end.
Okay. Which one?
This one.
Where
I've been eyeing
you would
like-
would you like to say where these are from, Finn?
From Angel Food. It's like right off of, what is it? Excelsior, I think.
I think it's Excelsior or.
Did they donate them to you?
No, but I got them off for a little bit because I bought a larger box, so that was good.
I don't think we're gonna eat all of them, and then we'll probably give them out an Echo and buy a favor with the Chiefs or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or you guys just stash it for tomorrow. They'll still be good.
That's a great
Will
idea.
they? Will donuts still be good?
Dale donuts still, I think,
Yeah.
work. Especially if they've got a lot of the frosting on them. I think it kind of, because they just dry out a little bit. So if you put
Yeah.
it someplace where there's, you know, the cover on in like a drawer
Yep.
or something.
And if they're just like a little bit stale, they're still fine. They're still
Yeah.
donuts. Like
This is so good.
You won't die.
Oh my God, it's so
Yeah.
good.
So they make them there, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's like fresh. Like fresh.
I taste it. Holy crap! Those are like. I went to Chicago once. I had these really good donuts. These are like on par with those. Holy crap! Are you a pastry guy?
I'm trying to kind of drop carbs a little bit, and sugars, but I kind of like that. You know what I'm guilty of is, and I know it's not really even a food group, but
Sure.
in the morning I'll occasionally, if I'll have a Pop-Tart. It's like those things. I know it's like it's a petroleum product, not even a food group, but you know, you warm them up where it's just kind of.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it's not overdone, because that sucks. You know, and it's just paste if it's cold. But now and then I like that sugar high in the morning.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what I like for donuts, I always like the. Do you like the custard filled ones?
Oh yeah.
I kind of like the custard. Yeah.
These
yeah.
are really like these are what is this cereal called?
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Peb-
Yeah, this is really
Pebbles.
good.
I think
Oh,
they
yeah.
got a knockoff even called Dino Bites or something.
I mean, well-deserved knockoff because they are very good. Like
All right, now
So do you guys, when you go to breakfast, do you order pancakes, which I consider sort of a pastry? Which with syrup, or do you get eggs?
You guys. I don't eat breakfast here. I eat breakfast at home.
Well, no, like if you go out to breakfast.
Oh, if I go out to breakfast, I'd rather have eggs over. Like I
An omelet?
don't like, huh?
Like an omelet or something.
Any. I prefer that over a pastry in the morning, I guess. I'm trying. Yeah, no, I'm not a big pastry guy in the morning.
No, every time I go out for breakfast, I always get pancakes and bacon every single time,
That's your thing.
and it's the greatest meal every single time. It never gets old, and it's always so good. And I just like lather
think I
it
did too as a
into-
kid.
Oh my gosh!
How much
I
you think?
always just eat like my mom, because a lot of my family is really European, and like on the weekends she'll make like Swedish pancakes with like elderberries and or like lingonberries and stuff,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just
Where do you even find those?
like
berries?
my great grandmother used to have like a farm where she would plant them, like
Okay.
like way up north, which I don't even know how because it would get so cold, so then the crops would just freeze. But like my grandparents just have like a bunch of jars of like the jam and stuff of it, and it's so good, even though it's like it's a little bit older, but it just still stays as good as
Gotcha.
it was.
This is the most important question of it all.
Okay.
Pets or no pets?
Oh, for sure, pets.
Yeah,
Dogs?
Dogs. No
yeah,
cats.
big dog person. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We have a Vizsla, which is, they look like a kind of just a little smaller Weimaraner, and it's a pointer. So this is our third Vizsla. And so I hunt with him. He's not
Oh,
as
you
good
hunt
as
with him?
Yeah, he's not as good as the other two I've had.
I was gonna say you'd seem like a Bernese mountain dog guy, like just like a big loving dog.
Well, you know what? I've always liked German Shepherds,
Those
but
are
I
good
but I
dogs.
haven't. I just always think they're cool, and the protective instincts I think are how committed they are to family. But I like I do a pheasant hunt, so it's
Mm-hmm.
fun
Oh, yeah.
for me to watch the dog work, and then it's a pointer, so that's
Yeah.
that's a trip when it'll lock up on a point and you're walking. You can't see it. It's like from me to you, Finn. And all of a sudden you get this big explosion, and this pheasant lifts out of
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, my
So-
grandpa, he hunts pheasant and elk, and he makes the best like pheasant fajitas
Pheasant
ever.
foot?
Fajitas.
Okay, yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
puts them in these. He like cuts them up, and like he makes his like own like tortillas too,
Oh, really?
and they're so good, like so
Huh.
good. I don't know how he does it, but like he has the same like he has a hunting dog too that like
Okay.
brings him back. And,
I usually just breast them, and then I'll put them on like a wooden skewer, and then do
Oh,
like
yeah.
Thai peanut stuff. I'll grill it with the Thai
Uh-huh.
peanut, so it's almost like an hors d'oeuvre. There's not a lot of meat on those,
no.
but it's in my family is okay with a little bit of it because it's kind of tastes gamier. It's not like chicken where you actually have a taste to it. So that's where like people do sauces or something like that. But the Thai peanut sauce is kind of more dominant, so it kind of mitigates that a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian, so I can't relate. But,
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finn's disappointed.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Can't.
I can never do it.
Like just
I
not
eat-
I mean, I
being
like
able-
vegetarian food, but I just
Yeah.
not being able to eat a steak.
I eat steak like it has to be weekly.
Yeah.
At this point,
Do you?
like it has to be weekly because it's so good, and
What's
I
your
don't think I
cut?
could live.
What cut do you like the best? Whatever your parents get, or do you have one?
Well,
that you
my dad like grills his own steak, and I'm not 100% sure what he gets.
Mm-hmm.
I like I like going out or like New York strip.
Yep.
That's one of my. I mean, like there are some of the like super nice ones that we get on like vacation, like a fillet or
Right.
something that's like so like tender and it's like perfectly cooked. But they're also like so small and like
Yeah, they give you the little medallion.
they're
of
like
filet.
little But
yeah.
I like a like big old like New York strip that like
I just had New
I
York
can
strip
shout
on
out.
Monday
yeah.
or Sunday for the Super Bowl. I made them. Yeah, I found one that my family likes because it's not real fatty and they don't like a lot of the fat.
Oh, yeah.
But it's called a tri-tip,
Oh.
and I think it's like they say it's like kind of similar to a oh gosh, what the heck? I'm drawing a blank now. Top sirloin.
Yeah.
But I think it tastes better and more flavorful than a top sirloin does. But they're kind of cheaper too, so it's not as expensive. But I probably, if I'm going to grill, I'd like a good ribeye. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Or porterhouse. I know fillets are supposedly the best, but it's I just don't like them as much as the others. How about you, Finn?
Mine's probably, well, like my dad makes a really good brisket. Like
Oh,
like he'll do like a 15-hour smoke. He'll make a brisket, but sometimes he'll make also like a really good T-bone, which is just it's unreal.
The porterhouse has a little bit more of that fillet because that side thing, that's the fillet.
Yeah.
So I'll usually get porterhouse if I'm gonna go that route.
But when I was up in Alaska, when my brother was playing in Alaska, their like billet family made these huge prime ribs, and they were like unreal. They were so good.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for Jaden over there because he just has to like sit here and talk about how much we love steak.
Do you eat the fake meat?
No.
Like the fake burgers?
I'm not into
some of those actually.
like
Not
the
bad.
fake burger
Some
stuff.
of the fake burger stuff.
there's some that is really
good.
good, but like I don't like it's just most of that soy and stuff. It's just not good. I just I eat alternative proteins instead of just trying
Instead
to
of like fake
replace it.
proteins.
Yeah, it's just
Did you guys have Goddard last year?
no.
I had Emma.
He is. I don't know if he's not a vegetarian or what's the other one?
Vegan.
Vegan, I think. Maybe.
I don't like vegans.
Okay.
Vegans only eat. They don't eat any.
They don't
animal
eat
products.
anything that
animal
comes from an
like
animal.
that comes from an animal, which like
No, he wasn't. He's not a vegan then. So he's
There's,
vegetarian. But
vegetarian,
at
okay.
lunch he would end up eating like a bunch of seeds, and I was giving crap. He's being a bird.
No,
You know?
I like also drink like so much milk that I feel like veganism would never work.
2%.
Yeah,
Okay.
all day.
I like 2%.
every day.
Yeah.
I have milk like at home. I think for every single meal,
Okay.
every single one. Like
That's crazy.
I
could
don't
never
care.
Drink, I could never just drink milk.
I can't
no,
either.
it's so good, bro. So good.
All right. Oh, we gotta
Lifeblood.
We gotta do the next question.
Okay.
Have you always wanted to be involved in teaching or like schools for a career? Or how'd you
No,
get here?
actually, I mean, it was strange. In the 80s, you didn't have to, I mean, just go to college, but I majored in history and political science, and I thought I'd go into business. And kind of graduated and sort of thought about looking for jobs. And then I don't know what happened. Maybe I just started thinking about teaching and coaching. And thought about, I was camping a lot at the time. I went to Alaska for a month, one summer, and kind of hung out and fished up there. And so I thought that's a great thing. Teaching, I can kind of do all those things together.
Yeah.
And so that's what I kind of made a decision. Then I went back to St. Thomas and I took a bunch of classes there to get certified to my student teaching and stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
What is I guess you talked about this. I'm trying to think. Is there something specific, not compared to your own high school, but something you've just seen specifically in St. Louis Park that you think is like special about it?
I think, it probably comes down to kind of the Jewish tradition here, is that it's just kind of a tolerant community. And not to say that we don't have things that we need to get better at and work on or whatever, but I think that, many of the other suburbs in the area, they'd have these covenants in the 50s that said you couldn't sell your house to someone who's an African American or a Jew. And I think that many people left with those kind of experiences, and they sort of formed sort of a culture in the suburb that I think exists today. And now we got our first East African mayor. It's kind of as the suburb changes, it's still kind of hopefully bringing some of that philosophy and tradition that's been around in the past.
I've never thought about that. That like I knew St. Louis Park had a very Jewish background, very large Jewish community. I never thought about how that played.
It's like I've gone to.
Oh, that's a good perspective.
I've gone to like Vail, Colorado, and like met someone skiing, and like he was like, where are you from? And like I'm like, it's like a Minneapolis suburb. And he's like, oh yeah, but what, like where? And I was like, it's called St. Lewis Park, and he's like, oh, St. Jude's Park, and I'm like,
Yes.
like, I don't know how like people know this, but like we have a like very high.
Was the
Jewish
person
population?
Jewish that said that? Okay,
I don't think
sometimes
so.
people go. Were
Sometimes
they
it's
from
a little-
Minneapolis area or just?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But like,
Yeah, no, I mean, when I first started here, it was a big shakeup because we were playing Cooper in hockey, and they threw bagels
Yeah.
onto the ice. It was
And
probably
then-
your dad's
and
game.
then we played Minnetonka, and they spray printed on like I think a wall wrote St. Jewish Park on our school.
Yep.
And that's when Ewald was the new super. Well, maybe he wasn't the athletic director yet. It might have been the person before him, but that's when the conference got together. And they used to, I think, have this attitude of kind of kids will be kids.
Yep.
But, you know, at that point, kind of, it was, I'm going to guess like 95 maybe, right in that era, 94, the conference wrote some bylaws and made it a standard that we were going to do that and
Yeah.
allow that. So that was something positive. But yeah, when my wife actually graduated from Park, and you know, I was asking her the other day, you know, what percent was the graduating class Jewish, and she couldn't really remember. But she's like, gosh, it seemed almost like 50%.
Yeah.
So it was a large number back in the 80s, and it's had a big impact in terms of shaping the community.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Next question. What is something in your life that you're proud of?
It's a very big
I'm
question.
an old offensive lineman, so you hate to like take any credit for anything at
Oh
all.
yeah.
I don't know. Gosh, you know, I've had successes and things I'm not the most proud of too, but probably, you know, I'm getting older and kind of the end of my career here, but not really quite end, but I'm within 10 years. But it's maybe, I guess the thing I'm happy that I feel like I've been able to do is balance things well.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I've cared about my career, but I've also cared about my family and friends and hobbies. And I think I'd go back and do some things maybe over again if I could, but, you know, I've been able to sort of not, I think some people jump in and they look back with regrets because they just worked all the time or they ignored their family or whatever. And I think that I've been able to strike, you know, for me anyway, maybe a balance that has worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You seem like you wanna go?
No,
You seem like a Family Guy type. Like that's your thing.
Yeah, I
is
do.
that accurate?
I mean, I like my alone time too, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know, we have a cabin up north, and so we spend a lot of time.
Yep.
Those are kind of my fun memories of the kids and
Oh, yeah.
pulling them tubing, and you know, my wife is also a teacher, so
Oh.
we'd go up when the kids were young and stay for 2 weeks. So you're not just like trying to jam, you know, all those experiences into a weekend, and so yeah, that's worked out well.
Oh, yeah. No, my dad would like take us up to our grandparents have a cabin up like in the like Detroit Lakes.
Oh yeah,
area.
we talked about this, didn't we? What lake are you guys on?
Actually, both sides. One on Melissa and one
Yeah.
on Big Floyd.
Yeah, we're on Lida, which is just outside of Pelican Rapids. Yeah.
You have two cabins?
Both sides of my grandparents are both from Fargo. Like my parents knew each other when like they were like 3, but like one
crazy.
one was from the north side and one from
Fargo
the
South,
south
Fargo
side.
North,
So
yeah.
like it was kind of
Is there
like
beef?
Romeo
Probably.
Juliet kind of a love story
Fargo.
here, but no, it was like, so both of them have like cabins there, and like you would always know when my dad was having a good time, because when we were tubing it felt like he wanted us dead,
Yeah.
because you
I
were
know.
not staying on that tube if like he was into it. If
I
like,
know. I've made my kids cry a number of times.
Oh yeah.
But
I've jammed my thumb,
I've
like-
got one friend that he hated taking his kids tubing. So he goes, "What I did is I took them out every time they say I want to go tubing, I want to go tubing," and he said I'd drive as fast as I could until they cried, and they never asked me again for the rest of the summer. Like, dude, that's so harsh.
I go tubing out on my aunt and uncle's boat, and they have a wake boat, and
yeah.
they put like extra water in the ballast, so
Oh yeah.
we have to wear helmets.
How much air do you get out of those?
That's a great question. But we'll go down and it'll be like 4-foot waves right behind it. and then they'll just do donuts, and then they'll stop, slack the line, and then you'll see like the boat just go right past us,
Yep.
and then we just get whipped into like
Yep.
3-foot waves.
Yeah.
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 It's just awful.
You can almost hurt people with that whipping.
No, you definitely
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went tubing once with my uncle, and his rule was like, if you want to go faster, thumbs
Yep,
up.
thumbs
Yeah.
up.
If you want to go slower, thumbs down. And I was doing down the whole time, and
He
he
just kept
and he
speeding
kept
up.
going, and he would joke, he would yell back to me, be like, faster. I'm like, and then he flinged me off, and then I think I got my back tooth like pushed or something. Like I felt agony.
Hitting
back.
the waves.
Oh, I hit it
'Cause you-
face down.
Oh,
I
yeah.
should have died. I remember it vividly.
I've definitely been at least like 10, 15 feet up in the air, like still on the thing, and like 20 feet after I've been like flung all the way up like a slingshot. But like I've like gotten hurt, and like I've had cousins like get hurt and then still asked to keep going. It's still like
Well, I think what happens is usually the kid falling off doesn't really get hurt.
No.
But it's when you have two people on the tube, like then when they bang into each other.
Yeah.
That's where I've seen like some kind of scary.
We've hooked up
crashes.
4 separate circle tubes.
Have you?
Like just the ones where you like lie, just like 2 hands on,
Mhm.
and like just like side by side, and it's the most chaotic thing you've ever done. But it's like so much fun because it's like a good like bonding kind of a thing too,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're out there with your cousins, and like the people on the ends get so much air.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
definitely
there's that
not
place
safe,
in your
but-
body, right? You got to lean in, and then
Yep.
they'll kind of push one of the guys off, and it's like this. You're battling for space.
I've landed on my like 65-pound, like 5'11" cousin, and like just slid off, and he was fine. He was just chilling. It's
I remember we used to have an illegal tube.
What's
where,
an
like,
illegal tube?
It's
They
like
got
if it was
banned.
like made correctly, it could like get air. Like you would just start
Oh.
flying. And like I remember we got like 7 feet up in the air, and then you'd have to jump off because it'd get too high up.
So it would just keep going up. And
It would
then
just keep on going up, and then sometimes it would start spinning in the air, like it would do like barrel rolls,
oh no!
and then it would crash down.
I would be worried that you get like hooked around the rope.
Yeah.
You know.
My cousins weigh like they're so like skinny and like petite that like one time my youngest cousin Johnny was like alone on the like circle tube, and my dad just like took off, and the tube just like slowly rose in
Oh
the
yeah,
air,
I've seen that before.
and like he was just pulled like a kite behind him.
if it's really
Yes.
windy, I've seen that
Oh, yeah.
times.
Okay, maybe we should
Oh yeah, we got a couple
do
more
a
questions.
real quick
Okay.
question so we don't
We'll be pushing it here. Yeah, it's 3:04.
All right.
like.
If there were 3 things you could change at St. Louis Park High School, what would it be?
Oh, you're gonna get me into trouble.
It doesn't have to be about admin. Just could be about.
It can be
anything.
like
Yeah.
you know, you like block days, or like you
Oh, I see what you're
Because
saying.
Miss Merkel said
Miss
she wanted
Merkel
block
really
days.
likes block
She really likes block days.
block
Did you guys
days,
like
and I
them?
I don't mind them. I kind of like them.
I like them for like 1 week in a month.
yeah, I think
Actually,
like
that's a good way to think about it. That'd be a fun way to kind of break it up.
Yeah.
like it'd be used for like fully catching up like on work, like a study hall.
if we didn't
Yeah. Catching up or
like the like
finals.
first week of like every month, or like once every other week for like 2 days, that I'd be a fan of. But if like every day block days,
But we need your list.
oh yeah,
Okay, I'll
if
go
you
with-
like block days.
I'll
then
go
yeah.
with the partial block days. I
Cool.
think that's
Yeah.
a good one. I'd love to see more school spirit.
oh yeah,
I think
That's-
that's one thing
Yeah.
I'd love to see. And
I know it's
I'll
hard.
give the cheesy generic answer though. But I'd love for us to be able to somehow connect the kids that aren't really into school to make them,
Yeah.
increase the curiosity, and maybe what I'd love to see is like a partnership with like a Dunwoody, where kids that don't really want to go to college but want to get trained for a skill,
Yep.
maybe could see more purpose in school, their experience here, and
Yeah.
do like a half day to learn how to weld or
Like
whatever. They're
I
That's
remember
really-
like my dad telling me there was like a car class or a
Yeah.
mechanic class, and then they got rid of it.
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of that stuff in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was, I mean, even when I went to school, there was shop, and you had like
Yep.
electronics. There were classes like that for students that didn't necessarily want to go to college.
Yeah.
And they get trained because I mean we're really short on getting enough workers in the trades, and you can really make good money.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a friend who like, he's in our, he sits in our macro class,
Mhm.
Brady, and like he works at
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, he works at his like dad's shop, and like he like knows what he wants, and like he's
Yeah.
just kind of like in school to learn as like much as he can, but like he's like
He's
really
gonna take over the business.
yeah, he is, and like there aren't a lot of things in school for like he has like exposure and opportunity from his dad to like
Mhm.
learn that and like go down that route and like figure out that like I've tried this and it's super cool and I would love to do this,
Right.
but like not everyone's gonna be able to have that same
Yeah.
opportunity, and so I feel like that's a good one to like
Yeah.
allow for more exposure of all the different things, and like you might find out what you like, and you're gonna find out what you don't like too. And that's,
I worked grounds crew in the summer, and I found out I didn't want to do that.
oh yeah.
I'll move on. Next question.
Sure.
I hope you don't say hunting because I'd like a different answer, but it's what is a niche or favorite hobby of yours?
Yeah, hunting and fishing probably consume most of. I mean, that would be my hobbies. I'm gonna
Oh,
go
yeah.
ice fishing this weekend. So
That's cool. What?
Yeah.
You mean
Not-
just fishing? There's
not
no
that
ice.
Well,
Well,
no,
there-
up north there will
Oh,
be.
up north, yeah,
But
yeah.
actually, I had to pull my house out 2 weekends just with a rope. I have a little sled that you kind of have two chairs and you pull like a little tent
Pop
thing.
over.
Yeah, it's like a clam. And so, but the fishing's been good because nobody's been out fishing
Yeah.
because they can't get their stuff out.
Where are you going up north?
Detroit Lakes area. We'll go to our cabin.
Yeah.
But I don't do it as much anymore, but I used to be a big live music guy. So, like when I used First Avenue, today as the example, I used to go shows in my 20s and 30s all the time, follow local bands and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that kind of ended with kids. You don't go out as much.
Yeah.
And so, ironically, my friends now, as we're getting to be empty nesters, are going and hearing bands again. So I'm going to get roped. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So that's a hobby. I spend a lot of time with buddies still.
Yep.
So good college friends and guys I met right after college, and so I enjoy music. Some don't play any instruments, and yeah, I mean kind of kids take up so much of your time, and my son's a freshman in college now, so. We're empty, and kind of that's the one thing we were looking at is my wife and I have talked about. Okay, what are we going to do now? Because it was always follow for the games, and like your parents are doing,
Oh, yeah.
and going to this activity and that activity, and that's kind of done. So I'm at the point where I need to reinvent myself a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's my parents have like talked about how like they have 3 kids and now one's in college and I'm gonna be in college soon, and like my brother will be in high school where he'll be able to like drive around soon and like take himself to stuff, and they've been like we're gonna have so much free time and no idea what we're gonna do with it at all.
Yeah.
And that's a big change for everyone. I feel like.
It is.
But
Winter is coming.
oh yeah.
Do you guys watch Game of Thrones? That was the big line. Winter is coming when you're getting older.
Man, I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
You never saw it?
No.
The first season's tremendously inappropriate. But it is.
I'm more of like a Parks
man.
and Rec, Office.
You guys,
that type of thing.
no. So you didn't ever like Lord of the Rings stuff, or
I like Lord of the Rings.
He
Lord of the
I
Rings.
know for a
Hobbit.
fact you loved Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
You were obsessed with it in like elementary school. I remember that.
I was obsessed with the like Percy Jackson books too.
Yeah.
It was all of the like not like just Percy Jackson, but I think this has like been a like driving thing for me. But like I read all about like mythology overall, and like I like
you got to
found
try
out.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But close your eyes at the inappropriate scenes.
You know, I've found out that like it's not just like mythology, like just learning about history for me is like super cool, and that's why your class is like one of my favorite classes.
Well, good. Thank you.
Not just because of you though, you know.
It's history, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. All right, so this is the last question.
Okay.
What keeps you up at night?
Wow.
Existentialism.
Not
I
a
think
hard
that's what
hitting
it's called.
question at all.
So I don't know. I sometimes can be guilty of liking dystopian novels
Oh,
and
yeah.
things like that. I kind of get into that sometimes, but keeps me up at night. I suppose on a micro level, just wanting my family to have options. My kids are kind of sort of launched, but they're not quite yet there yet. I want them to finish strong, so they have a lot of options in their life. So I tend to worry about my kids a little bit, but probably from a country standpoint, I think that how we're divided, and the scary part is to link it a little bit of history. We've always been divided as a country, but now we're really divided regionally. So we studied Civil War, where you have the North and the South, and two very different. And that's easy to break apart. It's one thing if you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, or vice versa, and we get to know each other, but we don't even
Get to know each other.
statistically. We don't get to know each other. You kind of hang with. You live in an area that has people like you, and so now from the rural urban divide, that's something I think we're going to have as a big challenge moving forward.
And like I feel like technology and like social media makes that so much harder to like because you just find one thing that you like and then you don't get shown anything
and
else.
the smartest people in the world are writing
people.
those algorithms that are there to get an emotional response, and we haven't seen AI yet, and that's going to blow things up.
AI is scary.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, that's all. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you guys.
us.
Thank you.
You want to take a donut to go?
I will. I'm going
Okay.
to go with one of the glazed ones there.
Looks
They
like
look
we're-
pretty good.
Nice.
Signing off. Okay.
Take care. Thanks.
That's a wrap.